So we're back for what might be the finale. I know I said that a couple episodes ago, but we're definitely, like, in finale territory, right? Right, okay. And I did remember to schedule some videos for today, so worked out in my favor. Why, this is an utter outrage. Have you any idea what you've done, you ingrates? I mean, that would imply we're grateful to you for something. Ingrates is, like, ingratitude. So, if you had, like, done us a favor and then we didn't repay you, we'd be ingrates. But, whatever. We did it. Then I guess that means I have to go. Broke my vow to her that we would all go free together. Jody? Reader, my friend, why would you do this? Will you ever forgive me? What the fuck? What's wrong with you? Get out of here! Who? Oh, right, that bitch. Wait for me, wait for me. Yeah, you've, like, seen everyone... Yo, we'll all go free together. We're working on it! Go help the cause, you fuck. Haven't you been paying attention? God, I'm starting to regret freeing you. Remain silent for a long moment. Listen to me, all of you, I will not forget this. If there's anything at all I can do back on the other side to help the rest of you, then I'm going to find it, and I'm going to do it. Have you not been paying attention? There's, like, whatever. At the very least, I'll do everything I can to make sure that by the time more of you come to join me back home, that it'll be a better place for all of us. I mean, most everyone's already gone. Looking on long now, so just thank you, all of you, I won't forget this. Plunges into the... out of sight into the shimmering pool, his voice audible but growing faint. It's happening. Goodbye, my friends, reader, everybody. Goodbye until we see each other.
Godspeed, Edwin.
Yeah...
The cycle of the rites is nearly at an end.
I suspect they wrote the dialogue for him to be free no matter what point. So... that whole, well, I'll see more of you when I get free, and I'll do whatever I can to help you. That might have been meant to be seen way earlier, before this whole plan of Wolfred's was in motion and, like, underway and all that. We the Eight cannot bear the burden of determining your worth. It shall be determined by your peers and by yourself. Sounds like passing the buck, if you ask me. You return to the wagon after having prevailed, sweet, against the chastity and the liberation rite. Tizo wishes Edwin a safe journey home, safe travels to you, Hedwyn. The rest of us wait the day, our reunion on the other side. You succeed in liberating Hedwyn, who returned to the Commonwealth in glory. The last light of the stars still shines for us above. At this point, what is to become of our plan needn't be the subject of our speculation. I trust we'll learn the outcome soon enough. Yeah, part of me's really curious what would be happening now if I had freed Wolfred. Our actions up to this point shall pave the way, perhaps our faith as well, so let's focus now on this. We stand upon the brink of the last turn of the cycle of rites. Soon we'll have a final chance to get one of you home. Now do reader up for a little stargazing, and see where the downside will be returning. Looking back to the darkness upon the last few stars too stubborn to relinquish their right. Good on you, stars. Who's left? Also, is it me, or does it seem like there's still plenty of stars in that sky? First of all, let's check this planner. 87's very good odds, first of all. The Accuser's next, huh? Ugh. I think we fought, actually, everyone. Maybe not the maybe not the Pyre Hearts, but we fought all these guys in the rites before. Oh, the Chastity are just gone. They are off the board. That's curious. The Fate are still kicking. Huh. Interesting. Well, who's up? Those guys, those dudes, and those dudes. Ah. Like, I don't want to see these guys again. I feel bad for them. Probably just go here, since he doesn't give a rat's flying ass. And his music's great. Everyone loves his music. And by everyone, I mean everyone playing the game, so, you know. Everyone who matters! Once more you are to face a distance, then, although I wonder. Hesitates before saying anything, you cannot sense his thoughts. Apologize, I was lost in thought there for a moment. Let's make our way to the Spring of Jomir, where everyone is feeling more refreshed as much as possible. Wolfred? Figured. Following Hedwyn's liberation, you find Volfred smoking his pipe, his eyes averted. He looks up at you and smiles as you approach. Oh, my girl, excellent work back there. Thank you for your perseverance. Though I was just reflecting on how very fortunate I've been in all this. Not just me, but really all of us who had a chance to stand with Hedwyn here. Ours is admittedly a somewhat desperate plan. It was vital to me, should the Nightwings rise again, and be under proper care and guidance. I was just thinking how well Hedwyn served in that capacity. He was sort of the unofficial leader. Whatever is to be the outcome of all this, no doubt his presence shall be missed. Like, the least amount out of all the people who are not here anymore. My agents and I, we were unsure of him at first, a common boy like that, completely unacquainted with the rights. But in the end, I felt he was worth a shot, someone like him, sincere, determined, with loyal friends, and desperate to get home. Those qualities spoke volumes. Then falls silent. I have every faith that he shall strive on our behalf now in the Commonwealth, and it is my hope that he yet finds the one he sought. You Volfred speak a little more of Hedwyn, you're left wondering what shall become of him in the Commonwealth. I imagine we'll get a letter where he was offered something, refuses, and then joins up with you again. Reader, what? Though you shall always bear a burden, it is much lighter than the burden of a lonesome exile. Go forth and become free, then join with the others such as you, and lead with mercy, continuing to demonstrate your worth, knowing that the Empire shall fall, form the foundation of our Commonwealth. You shall cease to be a reader and become a voice. Yes! A voice both to the free and to your successors here. You should take up the book when you no longer need it. The cycle of the right shall see to it that you and others like you shall be liberated ere the coming of another age. Hey! That's the age we're ushering into. May stars shine ever brightly on us all. Man, I wanted to be a voice. That would have been cool. Somebody hire me as a voice actor, damn you. That has to be. I think I've talked about this before. Maybe not, but apparently voice actors are becoming sort of in desperate need for more video games and such are being made, obviously. And they need more voice actors for this. A lot of, and, they're already obviously the established voice actors, but, they're doing things like cartoons and anime and sometimes films. So it's tricky. Versus, video games, which are huge projects that take insane amounts of time. So yeah, they're still getting professional voice actors and all, but that's, they are aging out of it, as it were. They are going beyond. So apparently they need more voice actors and are looking for them. Another main problem with this is they don't like paying voice actors terribly much. And because several of them are union, Screen Actors Guild, SAG employees, they have to pay them. But they don't want to. Because there's also complications with the union. Like, if you hire this guy, well then you need this many people on your team who are also in this union, that sort of thing. Whereas they would rather employ freelance people. This leads to a lot of in-house voice acting, and that would be rad for me if I were like an in-house voice actor for a company. Like, for an animation studio, like I know 4Kids and Funimation had their own in-house team to do all their dubs of animes. That's why Dan Green and the guy who does Kaiba and Brock are in like every 4Kids thing from your childhood. It's because they were in-house. They weren't union, they were hired by 4Kids to do this. And of course 4Kids is bankrupt and no longer a thing, but, that was the way with 4Kids for a while, and that's the way with a lot of other people, so fuck it. I wouldn't mind being an in-house voice actor. Get a lot of work that way. And then when they go bankrupt, I'll sign up with the union. That's just how it goes. Or you could pull like the Steve Bloom thing he did with Cowboy Bebop, where he went under a different name for Spike Spiegel because he really wanted to do it, but union rules were like he would have had to have... They didn't want to hire him because he was union. And he really wanted to do Spike Spiegel, and everyone wanted to do Spike Spiegel. So he went under a different name, and just, it's so clearly him, but it's, the credit is to an alias of his. But not the point. Point is, I want to be a voice actor. That's like an all-time goal of mine. Voice actor, YouTuber, some sort of entertainer. I am studying to be a teacher, though, because that is... I don't know, it's something. I still get to... I like the idea of being a teacher, talk about a subject I like a lot, and it seems a bit jerkish to say, but there is like an audience still there for me that I'm teaching. I'm being, what's the word? Didactic at that point, and I wouldn't mind that. I've been in a few machinimas. If I've been anything of note, there were talks of hiring me to narrate a documentary, but that hasn't really I was supposed to get lines for that back in September. It's early November now, and I haven't heard from them in forever, so I don't know what the hell's going on with that. I could ask them, I suppose, but I have a lot of schoolwork. It's probably better if I don't have yet another thing I need to be doing. It is daybreak. You are set forth now. You are to set forth now for the spring of Jomir, for what appears to be the final time. Thereafter you shall return here and one last exile's final chance at liberty. Probably Oralek, even though I'll nominate Wolfred. I swear if it is Oralek I'm facing and I have a chance to set him free, I'm doing it. I've told you many a time I'm doing it. You know, that guy, he earned his goddamn freedom and it was taken from him. What the hell now? My mind, that was a bit close. Perhaps you're Scourge of the Skies. Well, perhaps you're intent on humiliating us even more than last time. Now then, we have most pressing engagements soon, so very little time for chat. Much do I cherish these exchanges, I must beg your leave until some other time. Shut up. These last couple were accidents. Popped right over that hill and collided into him. And there he is again. There's those guys. God, we're all flying around over here, aren't we? Fall flat, the minstrel. Wolfred. Find something of value. Should be expedient path. Yeah, right. I so do not need, like, the money and the fucking talismans at this point. I guess check with old minstrel. As soon as you look about the dusty way stretching in every direction, the lone minstrel approaches you and asks for a moment of your time. Reader, how much time do you think has passed, like, in-game? Has it been a year? I think it might have been like a full year at this point. Maybe a little more. Maybe a little less. Maybe a lot less. Reader, I believe I have located something of value. It was cast aside near where you lay, and perhaps you can make use of it. Thought I went with Wolfred. Hands you items, encourage... Oh, no, I went with him, but whatever. Found rafter fungus. What? Well, alright then, I'll sell it. None of them are in the team anymore. Gertrude gains a somewhat strong grasp how to better pass the Celestial Orb through strength of will and trust in one's triumvirate. Long have we sought to fathom all the darkest secrets hidden by the light of the stars. Now at last the stars themselves revoke their station in the night, and we have finally achieved an inkling of this. So what is this one? Once per right after saluting? No. Turns her adversaries into howlers. That's... Yeah, sure, why not? It appears that thou knowest something of the stars then after all. Well, yeah, I did. To the Spring. Glue Hive. That's a terrible name. Some of these names just... I mean, they're good, but they sound just like awful places. Sandlick? Like, ugh. I don't want to go there. And that was probably the point, so... Hey guys, come in. Say now whatever happened to that smiley headwind guy. You really have to get out of here. Do you really get out of here like I've been hearing, or what? Not much of a... Well, hey, look at them apples. Have this fungus. And this talisman I don't need. Give me that bad boy. Gertrude. Plus 30. Still have plus 3 that I can't use on either of these guys. Yeah. Typhoon Bottle. I just can't see me wanting any others. He jumps 100%. What is this one again? Bear... Oh yeah, it keeps his aura while he's about. That's... you know what? I was gonna say that might be better for Wolfred here, but then he'd lose his jumping farther thing. Oh, also, you need to have claws for that. I don't think it would work with him. It might work for her, but I rather like having that. Well. Tell your friends about us, because I already told mine. I like that joke. After making all the necessary preparations amid the stark badlands of the Spring of Jomir, you and your companions await the commencement of the rites. It is quieter even than usual at the onset of such events. While minstrel appears, bringing news. I have checked, it appears as though the distance have not yet arrived, reader madam. Well, I mean, I figured that. There's no sign of Barker or anyone. Their sigil is not set either. If what he says is true, adversaries are not present, then you presume the rite cannot commence. However, the stars themselves soon indicate you are mistaken. How's that now? Are we gonna fight Orlick?
Reader,
Yes.
the Commonwealth,
What about it?
your home.
Yes, it is.
Today it is aflame,
Oh, fuck.
much like a stack of books. Aflame because of you.
I mean...
Because of your outlandish plan.
I mean...
Not that you care.
I mean...
Not that you shall live to see this place again.
Huh?
Your attempts at revolution shan't succeed. Though by all means, keep trying. As for myself, I shall enjoy presiding over these remaining rites.
Will you? The rite is set to commence, but your adversaries have failed to show. It's a flame, huh? I figured you'd wait for the... whatever. Unfortunate but understandable, they knew they would never make it another liberation rite. I cannot blame them for not wanting to participate just for the sake of it. It's Barker! That guy's all about fucking us over, man. Aw. Now I'm sad. Indeed, as the rites are drawing to a close, some of the triumvirats whom you have met perhaps are beginning to decide the stars are not worth heeding. That doesn't seem like Barker. He seems like he would take any opportunity he can to play this sport. I wonder whether he would give up the rights like that. On the one hand, he's unpredictable. On the other, bowing out of such a competition seems at odds with the thrill-seeking nature. Yeah. In any case, we've begun the ceremony and I ask that we end it. Really? Ah, this is...
Choose quickly your triumvirate.
Really?
Tizo,
This is kinda sad, actually.
Wolfred,
Like, not pathetic sad, but depressing sad.
predictably decided.
Yeah. Predictably. Oh, well, gee, I'm sorry.
Lo, even your adversaries have abandoned you.
Do I just... This is really...
And it is done. The Nightwings prevail
Aww.
by default.
Yeah.
Not that their adversaries even care.
It's this achievement. Well, I mean... I feel like that achievement might be a little bugged if it's giving me there. Yeah, like, that was... Huh. Yeah.
Boundless are the teachings of the scribes. I eagerly await our next such outing.
Huh. No one speaks further of the dissidents back at the Black Wagon. Everyone is instead preoccupied with the rite that is to come. Teaser can scarce believe this is the final opportunity to liberate one of your own. I'm afraid so. Our plan is an imperfect one, yet here we are faced with a vital opportunity. Looks over to you. Rita, my girl, please go see for yourself. I think we all know where we're headed next, and I suspect whom shall we... I know. Yeah. The dim and fading light in the final star still pierces through the darkness, demanding your attention, guiding you towards the endpoint of your path. Kind of figured. I'm betting what's his name wouldn't have, they're all gone. I'm thinking Ignarius wouldn't have shown up. Dalbert might have. Honorable Old Kerr, he might have shown up. Well then. This is embarrassing, I can't find it. No. Okay, where... No, where the hell is this thing? There it is. Yeah. Figured. Or summoned to the fall of Soliam for your 7th, really? And final liberation rite. Thus shall the cycle of rites be ended for an age. You sense that the rite shall... If the rite shall ever commence again, it shall not be during your lifetime, or that any one of your companions, even the longest-lived ones, Bertrude. Stars reveal to you one more thing. The adversary whom you shall face to be Orlek has already crossed Scribe's Gate and awaits your arrival. If the 8 scribes created the Nightwings in their own likeness, perhaps it's only fitting the Nightwing should, in the end, be forced to face themselves. Orlek cursed this damnable cycle that must pit us against him in our final chance. Let's retire for the night. Should not have many chances more for rest before the journey's end. Group disperses as exhaustion sets in. At dawn, you fly to Mount Elodiel to make effort to achieve your final plan to get somebody home, but who? I'm leaning towards...
Foolish reader.
What's up?
Your so-called friends. You are accomplice to their hateful plot. They are exploiting you. You shall never have your freedom.
Nice to see you, too! By dawn, you're already up and about. After a troubled slumber, the Black Wagon is preparing for its final voyage to the fall of Solium. No one speaks. This would be very interesting if Volfred wasn't here. As you lift into the skies, low minstrel raises his voice, cutting through the somber mood. Reader, a certain olden ballad has just come to mind. I think as befits the circumstance, perhaps it may help pass the time if we play it. Yeah, go for it. The original minstrel plays ballads so that all among you might hear it. It begins without another word.
When the stars align, the rites shall come to bear. Illuminate the signs, the exiles shall be there.
It's darker than normal, I think.
The same, but 3 shall be as one. Freedom in
I'm also not seeing any of our opponents.
end has just begun. Strands may break our own, but twisted make a braid. Together on their own, the journey shall be made. The journey shall be made.
I timed that really well. Or the game did, one or the other. You touch down amid the old masonry of Mount Elodiel and make pilgrimage to the summit for one last time. There, one last liberation rite shall soon commence. There, one last exile shall regain his freedom, and all others shall remain to carry out their sentences and downside for the remainder of their lives. And in Commonwealth, the plan of which you are a part shall either come to fruition or shall be suppressed. After having landed, you join Volfred on an expedition to the monument of Ymir Many-Mane, for what is likely to be the final time. You know, scribes, long as I served your will and long have I pursued the path which you revealed to me, our plan now stands on a precipice. If we prevail on this night, then we may yet achieve its goals. Oh, don't do that to me! We're so close. It's already a really high percentage. It shouldn't matter if I free Orlek or not. Man, I want Orlek to go free, but not at the cost of everything I've worked for. Like, I feel for the guy. I don't feel for him that much. Would reform the Commonwealth under the auspicious? Auspicious isn't a noun, which you yourselves have described within your book. We shall stand together, so I ask that you please stand with us by your divine grace. We may yet prevail, and please have mercy on Orlek as well. Soon he is finished, you return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Ymir Many-Mane has shown you favor. At dawn you should begin your last descent. For now your vocations may occupy what little time you have to spare. Eight scribes compose a book, their influence. Yeah. Like, Man, here in the solemn beauty of Mount Elodiel, you encounter a messenger imp come to deliver, news this time pertains to Hedwyn, who is liberated. You learn Hedwyn returned safely, where he was clothed and welcomed, his past transgressions forgiven. He was to be groomed for a leadership position of his choice, whether on the council or on the blood border, each equally lucrative and secretive as well. However, he refused, and before the stunned council members could do anything about it, he left them. I mean, shouldn't they be used to it at this point? He since made contact with Wolford's agents and is working together with them, thus the ranks of the revolution grow stronger. For the messenger imp's custom, the last part of the message was transcribed from Hedwyn word for word and says, "Keep going, I'll see you here." Thank the messenger imp for relaying the information, so it doesn't sound like the Commonwealth's burning. Soon your companions are all abuzz about it. Well done, Hedwyn, my boy, I knew you could do it. That boy's spirit infect the lot of ye as would a plague. You have an interesting way of complimenting people. Kya! He is happy to hear he's back in the Commonwealth. News of Hedwyn's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with newfound resolve. Man, like, I really, really want this to succeed. I want this plan to succeed. I've worked for it the entire game, and I want Orlek to go free. Are they really going to make me choose between one or the other? Because I'm going to have to go with my plan, and I'm going to hate that, but I'm going to have to do that. Fuck you, Supergiant Games. You always do this to me. You stand before Scribe's Gate with... I say always, I've only ever played Bastion all the way through. You 100%ed that as well. Got every achievement. The Gate Guardian is there as ever, but you sense something different. Oh, really? I wonder why. Exiles of the Nightwings, we shall not meet again after this coming right. Rick and I, it shall be time we take our rest, I think. Greetings, Celeste. I will tell you the Nightwings are prepared, though this time I am uncertain anyone amongst us feels thus. You have a duty to uphold, Tariq. And then what, Celeste? And then nothing, not for the rights, nor us. Not until the dawn of a new age. Now, Nightwings, step forward, state your names and what it is you seek. One by one. For me, my name is Wolford Sandalwood. I long as yet to see an age where freedom is one birthright and no longer good people, such as thee, are forced to contend for it. He also believes his ancestors watching over the Nightwings and seeks to live up to their legacy. We are called Big Bertrand. We seek to fulfill the plan of Sandalwood. We are fond of him and his beliefs, and then to go about our business. Finally, we step forth once more. You, a crippled scholar who vowed to help friends be free again and managed to come this far. I thought it was a farmer. The Guardian observes you for a moment, then motions past the archway towards the summit. 8 scribes with the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. Except for you, Tariq, you stay right here. I thought you said... Rights are not yet ended, Tariq. Looks over to her and the rest of you. Pardon me, everyone. I shall be there when the stars align. Hey, Guardian, the Lumens shall remain together. The rest of you depart. Man... Am I gonna have to... Man... You've gained the summit of Mount Elodiel for the 7th time. The final time which any of you shall have a chance to leave the downside. Hey, Sandra, what's up? First of all, is it possible for me... I can only load, I cannot save. Which is really a shame. I wonder if I could copy files from the main menu, because... Thank you for visiting on such short notice. I understand you have important matters to attend to, so let me be blunt. Please listen for a moment. When this whole affair is coming to an end, all of it, I sense the binds that form the rights becoming weak, which means soon you will not need me anymore. That is a lie! Not that you have needed me at any point. Lies! But still, my service will not be any further use. Lies! I'd love to tell you that this means I shall go free from my eternal prison. That'd be sweet. For some of my beyonders, it shall be released. My accomplices are bound by weaker words than those which have bound me. They shall fade away, I think, and finally rest. I, however, shall remain. Damn it. She hesitates for a moment. Thus, I have a proposition for you. I do not know where you should go from here. I ask you to take me there wherever it shall be. But I mean, take this stone prison of mine and keep it. Do not just leave it, as all your predecessors have each time they stay among the Nightwings reach an end. Soon they be under crystal, so of no use at all except to keep me trapped. I am content to remain thus, for I have little choice, but I would prefer to do so in your company, for I do enjoy your company. This may not be much of a compliment, but I assure you I much prefer your company to Eternity of Solitude. Boy, that's what I hope to hear one day. Adam, or Token, really depending, they'll look me in the eyes and say, I prefer your company to an eternity of loneliness, and then I'll know I've found the one. It really is almost that simple, frighteningly so. Like, just find someone who... I like being alone, don't get me wrong. I live alone for the most part. I only occasionally go out home to visit my family. There are only a few people I can think of I currently know who I wouldn't mind living with, like spending every day of my life with. And even then, it wouldn't be every day. They'd go and off and do their own thing sometimes, and I wouldn't see them. But there's very few people I would trade living alone for versus living with them. I don't know. I have no wish to see you gain in years. I have no wish to see you gain in years, and to eventually decay whilst I remain unchanging. I mean, that's going to happen if I take you with me. But I should rather have more years whilst having contact, even if those years would be brief. They shall afford me many more in which I might think back upon our times. Nor do I expect you to accommodate my needs, for I am well aware of my limits in accommodating yours. As to say, I wish you to go forth after this night and live your life however you see fit. For your own sake, may all the rights, business, and rich in coming days. And in considering that life after this night, if you think there may be a place in it for me, however small, then once again I simply ask you to take me along. That way I shall, should you ever wish to visit me again sometime, you could, and I would like you to have that option more than not. My request here is a selfish one. No, I think I've been asking for that since I have met you, because you are awesome and I love you. There's little I can offer in exchange other than what my little companionship is worth. Perhaps I could lull you to sleep once in a while. Aw. Who knows, you could always try and sell the Beyond a Crystal for a reasonable sum. There may be someone out there with interest in such things. So then, you've heard my sad little proposal. What do you say? Beyond a Crystal is not your property, nor is Sandra's penance your responsibility. I don't even fucking care. You grasp Beyond a Crystal and set it in the folds of your clothing. Sandra senses this and makes a sound as though surprised. Well, she shouldn't be. Thank you, reader. She is at a loss for a moment. Then, let us go from this place. Go and face your last remaining adversaries. May you crush them under heel and achieve the outcome for which you seek. I believe you shall prevail. Damn it, now she believes in me. Duh, I took the Beyond a Crystal with me. Why wouldn't I? What sort of monster leaves that thing? Did I get another page? I can't remember. Doesn't look like I did. Oh well. So many people. They're all just gone now. What is this? Ah. Hey guys. I can't sell the crystal. That'd be hilarious if I could, though. I guess you probably heard the big news. Yeah, I'm going out of business. Just hasn't been the same, you know, with the stars fading out and stuff. Anyways, just want to say you guys are great. I'm sure gonna miss having you guys as customers. Some good news, though. All my stuff is on sale, and I'm throwing a little extra. Enjoy, and maybe I'll be seeing you around. 5% off. Thanks, Ron. You're great. Fucking 5% off, you goddamn kidding me. One last downberry for you, old boy. Might throw in a little something extra. You know what? Why not? I'm not going to be needing this stuff much longer. Give me your last Stardust, eh? Whoops. I can't use it, so, I mean, just mostly took it because I could. Take care. Thanks for doing business. So, it seems to be hinting that I need to win for the plan to succeed. And Sandra wants me to succeed. I feel as though I'm going to have to go back on letting Oralek go free. This game was okay for me. I was like, yeah, there's nothing particularly wrong with it. I think it's alright. I like the characters. It's getting up there for me with terms of emotional investment. Like, I really want to play the game again differently, see what happens. I am very curious to see, like, if I lose everything. Let me know. I'm not going to do it immediately. I have other things to do, but let me know in the comments if you would like to see me do a playthrough of this where I lose, like, every match. I'm just constantly losing. Everyone else goes free. The fucking Nightwings are the ones staying here. Our plan doesn't come to fruition. We see what happens that way. And during this moment, Orlek is the one who goes free. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that or you think that would be a cool idea. For now, though, I guess I have to beat Orlek, eh? Just, that's the way it goes. You've gained the summit of Mount... didn't I read this already? Very few stars... Well, Minstrel finds you clutching the Book of Rites and the Orb, seeking there, perhaps, some bit of wisdom that has eluded you thus far. Reader, we may not have a chance to speak again after this. I may have to go. I wish to say I'm grateful for having made your acquaintance and shall remember you with fondness. I wish you well this night, and always go forth with glory. That's a smile. Looks up and extends his hands in friendship. Hey! You see, Tizo has joined. All your companions are there. Is it strange for me to say, given the circumstances of our meeting, Reader? Yeah, you were an asshole at first, but it's truly been a pleasure. Onward now, let's achieve our plan. Reading one, thou art both wiser and less irritating than most others of thy kind. Again, words I long to hear from other people. We have learned something from thee, and we are grateful, Nerg. We look upon your fellow exiles, your companions with whom you have withstood the downside, and with whom you shall now conduct this final rite. Begging your pardon, but my time has come, we shall see each other soon. Will we? He departs. After this night, the outcome of Volfred's plan, the plan of which you have all been a part, shall be decided one way or another. For now, all you can do is strive to prevail against your fellow adversaries, so that one last companion may go free. You rise to join your fellow exiles, and the last remaining stars ignite. We stand together unopposed. I have to beat him. After all this, after winning every match up till this point, I have to beat him. You know? I definitely am going to play it again where I lose. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that recorded. I'm going to do it, no matter what you say. The question is whether or not I record it and put it on YouTube. And this, I know this is a long video. It's the finale.
Upon the fall of Solium, dear reader, hear me for one last time.
Indeed.
For soon, the few remaining stars shall fade away, leaving you stranded there for your remaining days in that forsaken land where you deserve to be. The rabble that you roused here in the Commonwealth shall be
Rabble that I
put
roused.
down. The exiles whom you liberated, all shall fall in line. But first, let us get on with this last liberation rite. You
know,
face none other than yourselves. Each so unlike the glorious Nightwings of yore. 'Tis a shame that one of you shall soon be free, for you deserve each other.
Not a bad line, although you know one of these guys. You know several of these guys. Whatever. It occurs to me, if I had set Volfred free, would I still... I'm doing this because I feel like I need to set Volfred free for the plan to work. If I had set him free in the last rite, I think I would be more inclined to let Orlek win. Despite Sandra, who I love, saying she wants us to crush our opponents. Well, no point now, is there? Pyres burn, each triumphant is present and prepared. Before long, before the minstrel can concur, as per the custom, not another word. The demon Orlek slowly raised his clawed fingers to his mask. The false Nightwings have arrived at last. Long have I awaited this, my freedom once stolen from me. I really, really feel bad about that, and I'm really feeling bad about what's going to happen here. Then I was cheated of it here upon this mountaintop. I mean, again, she got what was coming to her when she did that. I may now attempt to take it from me once more. Yeah. Stands there silent, then Orlek dons his mask and stands prepared. May his damn right cease forever for the misery which they have caused. Like, if he were on our side, man... Nightwings, we shall not meet again after tonight, for the cycle rite is all but ended. Thus, I would have your decision. On whose behalf shall you conduct the final... This is going to be a big file, now that I think about it. or else the exile Orlick be returned. Godspeed, reader. You know what's at stake better than I. I have the utmost faith in you to make the best decision. Nightwing's stars remain low. Your decision, please. Tizo, duh. That would be the biggest troll move. It's time for you to choose who, if anyone, among you shall go free this last time. The rest of you shall remain in downside to the end of your days. And when you meet the gaze of your fellow exiles. Tizo, Bertrude, Wolfred. Your fellow exiles, your companions, your friends. Together they have come this far, but now the downside and the rights conspire to tear your group apart and disrupt your plan. What? What? It seems both cruel and unfair to make such decisions. Is there no other way? You can't do this to me, game! Ugh. Are you prepared to choose one last time? Yes! But now you've got me thinking! What the hell, game? Ugh, no, 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 no. Okay. I'm gonna say yeah. Yes. I'm going for this. But again, I will play this game again, and I'll come back and lose everything, and I'll pick a no at this point. If you want to see that, comment it. I'm doing it, no matter what. I am going to do it. But right now, I'm sticking with the plan. Yes, for there is no turning back. With but a glance, you reassure your fellow exiles you know what to do.
One final opportunity for salvation. Too bad for the rest of you. Wolfred.
Long have I dreamt that I might someday see this plan of ours come to fruition. I promise you that I shall make the most of it if we are to prevail. Your choice is cast. The errors for the company you see. You sense clarity and thought and purpose in each of them. They stand ready to support Wolfred as well as you. Given their Bertrude, who clearly loves Wolfred. Yeah, it is Wolfred. Given Bertrude, who clearly loves Wolfred, and Tizo, who's a fucking imp, has been here his whole life, I feel like they're totally cool with this. Or at least they should be. Rare takes to see Wolfred regain his freedom this night. Thy will is ours, reader. Reading one. Let the remaining stars shed their last light upon our ceremony here. Okay. Those are to be my adversaries. Literally the only people... Whatever. And who is it, I wonder, who asserts her will over that group? Yoo-hoo! Search, or like searching for you, almost reaching out to you. Shadow of the False Nightwings. You really gotta stop calling us that if you want me to sympathize with you. They're nothing to me but you who to relinquish your own liberty for the sake of them. Strange. It is fitting, then, that I should have to face one such as you. I mean, you're facing them. And Orok stands ready, signaling his two allies to do the same. By the light of dawn, the cycle of the right shall cease. Let us see if we can finish this ordeal before that time. The sky above begins to shudder. The final liberation rite is about to commence. Tariq. I am prepared, Celeste. Then let our song this evening shake the stars themselves. Aye, Celeste, let's make sure of it. Tizo. Tizo fumbles with his mask. Yep. It's good to see you. Oric reaches for his mask. How is the horn mended? Tizo indicates the horn has not bothered him for a long time. Thanks, Orlick, for it. Good, full recovery then. But it's unfortunate to see you standing with them, Tizo. Come with us, no questions asked. Proposal catches Tizo off guard. Tizo indicates he will not abandon his friends or their quest. Attaboy, Tizo. He seems to be pleading with Orlick to stand down and listen, not give in to anger. Orlick shakes his head. Puts his mask back on. This is something I must do, little one. Tizo dons his mask, he chirps nothing more.
The final chance at liberation for the age.
Alright, disagree with that, but, you know. I hate Wolfred so much sometimes. He's so slow! I mean, I don't even know what I was supposed to do there. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go! Ah, shit. Nope. Yo! 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 Just walk in, you fuck! I hate you so much! I meant to jump. I don't know why I didn't. shit. Okay, literally! What the f- I hate you so much! You suck, Volfred. You are so slow. I cannot stand you. What the hell was that bullshit? I don't even know at this point. They're fond of passing me the ball and then trying to get me with that. I'm noticing. See? Tried it right there. Bull fucking shit. Oh yeah, yeah, that fucking fuck you. I hate you so much. Oh gee. Am I gonna, yep, be too slow? How did I fucking see that shit coming? It's a goddamn mystery is what it is. Okay. I'm getting real sick of this. Skies rain, ash, soon shall your Pyre zone mingle with them. Just send the skies above rain down fire. The final throw is a cycle of rights and the ending of an age. Do we have to watch out for falling fire now, too? You just... Ow! What the f... yeah, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and restart this bullshit. Since dialogue does seem to change if I restart. Like, I'll put up with your damn bullshit to a degree. But I really hate Volfred and how slow he goddamn is. Do I have any fucking talismans that make him... No. I made a decision.
One final opportunity for salvation.
Do I have any goddamn talismans that make you, like, faster? No. 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 Well, whatever. Yeah.
Who shall be at his side?
Then we need to skip through all the dialogue again.
Bertrude. With that out of
Yeah. Volfred is just so fucking slow. It is a nightmare to play with him.
begin. The final chance at liberation for the age.
God, Bertrude's so much better. You wear the remnants once again. I cannot simply stand back and do nothing, all relic. Yet that is what you did. When last we stood together on this blasted mountain, I fell and you simply stood. Orlick, you fell off the mountain. I thought you were dead. What shall it take for you to be convinced I took no part in your betrayal? Orlick seems to consider the question, but only for a moment. Give me my damn freedom. Let me prevail here and now. You promised to uphold our plan. Well, isn't this a conundrum? Suddenly I'm gonna have to go back, don't I? To bring a better Commonwealth. No. Well then, I'm not freeing you. But I'm sorry, my love for the country comes before all else. More than your freedom and friendships at stake. I was hoping someone would just ask him that. It's like, no. I really... Ugh. You'll be damned, Wilfred. Let us stand as adversaries, then. I get that you owe us nothing. That... fair. You were cheated out of your freedom. Again, I sympathize with you heartily. I hate you. But... at a certain point... we have our own goddamn agenda here. I hate that. It's almost annoying, really. No, it is entirely annoying. It's almost... like, part of it's my own fault. He zips around so much because I freed him. Or because I have that stupid talisman on him. But the thing is, it's great until that point. Skies rain ash. Yeah. So what is this bullshit? The skies rain ash, and then I'm struck by lightning for some nonsense? At least Tizo comes back right quick. And Volfred, too. Well, that was... Disagree with that just on principle. What the... You wanna know the most bull thing, I think? They can fucking blast your shit while you're just kind of hanging out in their own mist. I hate that so much. Tizo? Tizo, I love you. I love you so much, Tizo. Yes, he did it. He came through in the end.
Now, take it.
Kind of did that. What the hell is that? And what was that? Whee!
Morn crone dove into the flame.
There's good animation when they fade away. I'm only just now noticing that, and I feel kind of bad about it. Oh, shit.
Punished, one and all. Brilliantly done.
Thank goodness Tizo has that claw thing. So the false Nightwings bear their fangs at last. Yeah, sure. But this cannot be your finest effort. You think you deserve your freedom more than I? Not really, but again, the whole plan thing... And fight for it, damn you. I'm trying.
That Orlick. Grown old and bitter lo these many years.
Understandably so. The man is not
Nightwings.
unjustified in his particular motivations.
That one almost got through.
I noticed that. Oh, the giant red circles are where... Okay. What the hell? No!
Orlick flung the orb into the flame.
That was well done, Orlick, actually. Credit where it's due.
Wherever went old Orlick?
I was really hoping that would just banish him straight up.
Your Pyre's
I miss having demons on my team. They were very, very good.
good.
I hate Volfred so much. How many times can I say that? Maybe if Volfred stopped sucking and was, you know, a little bit quicker.
That Bertrude's faster than she looks.
I know, she's great. She gets one more. Orlick stands, breathing heavily. He looks back on the thin lick of flame in his smoldering pyre before turning his attention back to your triumvirate. If you agreed to the plan, Brosif. If you'd agreed to the plan, this is unfortunate.
Contempt.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate. Is he really gonna walk into the fucking... Wow! That was on you, buddy. That is 100% on you. Volfred, alright, now look. Part of me wants to be mad at that, but I mean, really. Some people will argue, oh, you fucking haven't gotten the pyre. Well, give me a break to a degree, guys. Okay, really, Orlick, you gotta stop doing that. That's no one to blame but yourself at that point. Tizo... I really hate Volfred sometimes. He's good defense, shit offense. He is possibly the worst offense I've ever seen. No! No, 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 no! No! Well, I have Bertrude back, don't I? Well, that almost worked. Like, really now? Ugh. Wolfred, I swear. You're so bad at this. Tizo, you're a little bit better. Wish you had stamina back right now, buddy. Also, really a shame he can't do the thing. With, like, his stamina, I mean. Oh, for God's sakes. Bertrand, go! Go! For the love of God, Bertrand, go! Okay, there it is. Okay.
The Nightwings proved their worth.
I mean, weren't you gonna say that no matter what?
Their adversaries they defeated utterly. Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus, the scribes have chosen.
Praise the scribes, we've done it. You look upon Volfred for what you expect to be the last time you see each other. Any moment now the Shimmer Pool shall engulf him. Any moment now he shall return to glory and join his agents' commonwealth which achieve her plan. Any moment now the cycle of rights shall end until at least the dawn of a new age. Any moment now.
And thus, the scribes have chosen.
Tom seems
Thus,
confused.
The
Yeah.
scribes have chosen. And thus, the scribes have chosen.
Uh-oh.
No. Nightwings. Reader. What have you done?
There's something wrong. Well, isn't this fun? Each prior time, upon the fall of Cilium, the Shimmer Pool is opened, following the Liberation Rite, and taken in whichever exile prevailed. But now all is still, the light of the stars have all but died, and you sense growing fear that it is already too late, and the Shimmer Pool should never reveal itself again. Orlek approaches, his head bowed. 8 scribes have saved their greatest treachery for last. Something else catches his notice. Wait. Sudden rush of starlight cascades in the stillness of the summit. The Shimmer Pool appears again, different somehow, but now open. Maybe don't jump into the giant red one? Wilfred looks upon it, but does not engulf him, or at least not yet. Seems I was mistaken, then. 8 scribes is not their greatest treachery, it's their greatest jest. The Shimmer Pool is flung wide open. Seems all are worthy now of freedom. Bum rush it! Everyone go! Fucking charge forward! Orlek strides to the Shimmer Pool, but... Halt, Orlek. Orlek glances over at the low minstrel almost in surprise. Shimmer Pool has lost most of its strength. You step inside and you shall surely drown. Of that I can assure you. He laughs to himself at this. Then we have all been cheated. Yeah, great, okay. No, the Shimmer Pool is revealed. What? And one of you may still return as planned, but as for return, someone shall have to choose. I'm not... What? Ere the last light of the stars is extinguished, and the rites cease to be in the final trials of the scribes. The final trial of the scribes. Then our confrontation liberation rite, it was all meaningless. No, the victor of the confrontation is to be the one who made the choice among those closest to the scribes, either the anointed or she who anointed them. So then the choice is mine to make. My freedom weighed against the readers, is that it? It shall be either you or the reader, or... It shall be either or. Wolfred, please make your decision quickly, lest it shall be forfeit. So Wolfred decides. Okay, that's interesting. You would not know for how much longer the light of the star shall offer you this gift. A snap decision. Fine, I have made it. Peter Mero, this is a chance of freedom we've earned. It's yours. Take it and make good use of it. What? Wolfred wishes to give you his freedom so you may regain yours. Very well. Peter Madam, the choice Wolfred made, or rather the choice which he gave, is now yours to make instead. This choice, it may keep bouncing back and forth. I'm kind of with Orlek on that one. It may until such a time as one of you is willing to accept the burden of the outcome of the choice. That is the trial, and I fear there's a little time remaining now. Reader, if you and your companions are too cordial with each other to accept the offer of freedom, be either of you, then I shall gladly take it. Touché. Freedom ought to be more than some flirtatious trifle to exchange. Yeah, I'm kind of with Orlek on that one. Reader, what is your will? Ah, for God's sakes, game! How many times I'm gonna have to replay you? Ugh. Who shall finally go free? Okay, Wolfred's out. He had his chance. He clearly bowed out of it, alright? What does it even say? Your intention tonight was for him to return to glory, and it shall be done. Clearly he doesn't think he's important enough to take it. He'd rather see myself. It's your chance, Wolfred. Wish you should take it. Fuck me. Your thoughts crystallize. You have chosen Orlek. What? Orlek, do you accept the reader's choice, or shall you make another? No, I shall not make another. I accept the reader's choice, the reader's mercy. And it is done. For a moment, Orlek appears at peace, and then he is gone.
Godspeed, Orlek. By the scribes. No stars remain aloft. The cycle of the rites. It is finished. The Commonwealth. What shall become of it? What shall become of us? Nightwings. The opportunity to gain your freedom from the downside. Was it not enough?
That night, the exile Orlek returned to the Commonwealth. He was to be the last. The stars faded and the cycle of rites has run its course. He found the Commonwealth in great upheaval. Spurred by the efforts of the 6 liberated exiles, Wilfred Sandalwood's revolutionary plan has incited the masses. These exiles and the starless skies portended the return of the scribes. Portended? People surged into the streets, shoulder to shoulder. Led by the 6 exiles, which are Jodariel, Ruki, Shay, Hedwyn, Pamitha, and Gilman. Their voices shook the heavens. The leadership of the Commonwealth panicked. No blood was shed that night, and by dawn it was over. The leaders of the Commonwealth had cast themselves back into exile. Well, fuck me! Or joined the new cause. Thus, in the 838th year, the Commonwealth had fallen. Not bad, honestly. The new Saurian Union declared its sovereignty in the next year. Among the changes that elected leaders ushered in, they vowed never to cast their people into exile. Well, now we're just lonely down here. They abolished the old Commonwealth decree forbidding literacy. Yeah, that was weird. Today we still remember all of this. We remembered the exiles of the downside whose deeds led to the dawning of our age, whether they returned or not. That's everyone. Oh, I can... Oh, do I get like a little bio of what happened to them all? I got True Freedom as an achievement. I do get a bio. Sweet! Once the rites has ended, the Mtizo had a job to do, quite unlike most exiles trapped forever in downside. The lone minstrel asked that he watch over the Black Wagon, which the Nightwings had used extensively for travel and for shelter throughout their quest. Mtizo obliged, for he knew the wagon as well as the drive inhabitants perhaps better than anyone. What became of the wagon exactly was never verified, as evidence of Tizo's thorough work. After that, he liked to while away his days with any of his friends or else fellow imps. Sandalwood sometimes called for his assistance, and Tizo was always happy to oblige. The two would often reminisce about the times with the lone minstrel. He oft chirped about the reader and the Nightwings, with whom he built quite a rapport. The reader understood him perhaps better than anyone. Indeed, Tizo would often express wistful gratitude for all his time with the Nightwings and their many adventures throughout the land that was always his home. Other than that, Tizo would sometimes help interpret the messenger imps relaying news from the... What is this? Nation formed in 839 AS, after the fall of the Commonwealth. After Sandalwood? One day we may stand shoulder to shoulder with the common cause, Wilfred Sandalwood. Despite having gained sufficient celebrity abroad, he never let it go to his head. And he would go fishing in the Sea of Solace at every single chance he got. Aw, they fade after that. This is everyone. Hey, Ron's here, too. I guess in the order I liberated them, why not? I mean, I guess that means... I'm gonna end with... Sandalwood's gonna be the last one, but I guess... How about lowest to highest? Let's just do that order. As the cycle of rites drew to a close, it grew evident that a chance at freedom from the downside had forever slipped from Dalbert and Almer Oldheart's grasps. Thus, they and the exiles of the Fates returned to Ymir Valley, where they struggled to get by as exiles of the downside tend to do. Sometime after the rites had ended, Oldheart at last heard the news the Commonwealth had fallen. This was well after the fact, of course, but it brought Oldheart great joy. Dalbert great joy. Despite his forthright manner, he had no love for the nation and cast him down along with his son. Dalbert, Oldheart passed peacefully in his sleep before the next new moon. In his final days, he implored his son to undertake a pilgrimage to the scribes. Almer never shared his father's view of the scribes, but respected Dalbert's wishes, and so after a period of mourning, Almer began a new journey. Not a day went by that Almer Oldheart didn't think about his father, and give thanks to him and speak to him at morning and at night. Would that the stars yet shone, for surely Dalbert would be among them, smiling down at his son and watching over him and his kin. After the liberation rite, Lendl refused to believe the rites had truly ended. He would sit through the night, after consecutive nights staring at the blackness sky, waiting any kind of sign they might gain another chance at freedom. If you say so. No such sign ever came. His fellow accusers started to express concern for him. Survival would become their top priority once liberty slipped from their grasp. Lendl dismissed them as weak fools. He insisted rather forcefully that any evening now, the stars would shine again for him again, and mark the way towards his inevitable freedom. Yeah. Rough stuff, that. He was, of course, mistaken. There was triumvirate with a little choice but to abandon him. After that, the exile known as Lendl the Liar was never seen again. However, there have since been sightings of a bedraggled demon who wanders the downside and bears Lendl's cruel countenance, suggesting he yet lives. I think the demons form horns if they're here too long. That's their whole shtick. After his liberation, Hedwyn was instrumental in the events leading to the fall of Commonwealth, and he was vital to the outcome of the plan. Good to know I freed him, then. The peaceful outcome of the scribe's return was attributed to several key factors. One of them was the underlying ambition of the plan itself. Another was Hedwyn's visibility among the people of the streets. Identified to be a liberated exile, he was believed to be Golgalatharian, reborn. Yeah, that's one of the scribes. More importantly, however, was the one of the winged harps. Yeah, Highwind remnants accompanied him. Ah! He found her. Fikani Shang. Their bond was symbolic of what was at stake that night and proved vital to the peace that followed. In all his days as a leader in the Saurian Union, I'm guessing that's Saurian, Hedwyn oft confided in his friend Jodariel. Despite her intense manner, there was no one whom he trusted more in times when circumspection was required. Hedwyn would often think back to how vow was made at the beginning of the quest for freedom. Although he cherished all the friendships he made, he pledged to Jardariel, Ruki, and the Reader of the Nightwings that they all might go free again together. He broke that vow, for in the end not all of them were able to turn. A terrible guilt over this darkened his mood for some time. That was my choice, bro. I got everyone else out of here. However, the others whom he still knew lifted his spirits, much like he had lifted theirs, and all the Nightwings knew the stakes. While the others who stood in the Nightwings were not able to remain in contact, thus Hedwyn thought of each of them often, and so in turn did they think of him. Is what's his name here? Yeah, there he is. Orlex here. These are the leaders of the other team. They're in the robes if they went free. I did send him free, didn't I? Looks like she's next. Sandra. Love you, babe. After the cycle of rites ceased turning, the records of what happened to the Black Wagon and Nightwings became inconclusive and contradictory. Some accounts suggest the exiles of the Nightwings who remained in Downside continued to make use of the Black Wagon as their place of shelter and means of travel. That would make a certain amount of sense. However, there is no record of what happened to the Nightwings, or the wagon's contents, such as the Book of the Rites or the Beyonder Crystal, said to be haunted by the apparition of Sandra the Unseeing. I'm guessing she's blind. One possibility, since her eyes are always closed and shit, is that when the Lone Minstrel took his leave, he took the Beyonder Crystal with him, for he was thus obliged. Yeah, fuck no. By this line of reasoning, however, the Black Wagon itself should have been taken also. Others remain skeptical the Beyonder Crystal ever existed, or rather the visions that it granted were anything other than the results of an active imagination or a fever dream. Bog dwellers of Southern Bog offer still another explanation, for they are familiar with binding enchantments. If there existed such an object in which the Sisters of Arc had been expelled for more than 800 years, then the enchantment could have expired along with the light of the stars. What this would have meant for Sandra and the Beyonders, it is difficult to say for certain, other than that it would have meant they were finally released. She might have gotten out. Nevertheless, fates of the Sandra and the Beyonder Crystal remain unknown, yet those exiles and Nightwings who claim to have seen this apparition all spoke for with degrees of reverence or perhaps a little fear. No. Ah, okay, I'm getting a special cutscene. Can you believe this, reader? Honestly, I know! Sandra has appeared before you, as well you can see. They are so far from the mark with all this nonsense, I am wont to laugh at it. In fact, here goes. She laughs. She is referring to the account of her, since she does not care for it. Yeah, I don't care for it either. I'll let them gossip for all they like. I merely wish that they would mention you, at least in passing, when next they are at it, though they shall never even know the half of it, shall they? Sandra seems imitated by the incomplete account of what happened to her. Humor her. Perhaps make light of the situation. Remain silent. We are sure her account is relatively flattering despite a lack of detail. It could have been worse. I'm obviously going to humor her. Your date, Sandra, the real truth of what happened between you would perhaps make two lascivious? Yeah, I think that's lascivious, a tale to be told in such a format. I have no idea what that word means. I'm going to look that up real quick, since I am curious. This is one of the characters I care about the most, as a matter of fact. Lascivious. I'm pretty sure I know the word. Now that I say it out loud, it is lascivious. Lascivious. Oh. Well then. If you're curious about the word yourself, basically the game's very much implying we hooked up. She makes a bemused sound at this. Perhaps that story ought to get out then, to think they would go to all the trouble to make literacy acceptable only to print such drivel. Anyways, let us keep going, lovely. We know the truth of it, and that's all that matters. She fades into the Beyond a Crystal now, you tuck it away safely. I mean, now wait a minute. If she's still in the crystal, how did we hook up? To give you the exact Wikipedia definition of that word, since there's an entire article on this word for some reason. Lascivious behavior is sexual behavior or conduct that is considered crude or offensive, contrary to local morale or other standards of appropriate behavior. So either I've popped into the orb and we've hooked up, or I'm making a jest at her foul mouth? I don't know. Either way, do with that what you want. I love her. I think she's great. I took her with me for a reason. Let's move on to Gilman. When the worm Gilman returned to the Commonwealth, he believed that he had regained something even more important than his freedom, his honor. Gilman relinquished his knighthood and declined an opportunity to serve as captain of the Blood Border. He was not interested in fighting any longer. Yet, as in sometimes the case with those such as he, the circumstances soon came about in which there came a need for him to once again make use of his military training. Thankfully, however, the scribe's return ended peacefully. Gilman was on the edge throughout the night, expecting violence to erupt at any moment, but the moment never came. When the matter was at last put to rest, and Gilman truly knew his time as knight had ended, he declared to all those in earshot that he would never fight again, unless, of course, there arose some other extraordinary set of circumstances again requiring him to fight, but he certainly hoped not. I love Gilman. He still trained regularly just in case, especially with his fleet-footed friend Rookie Greentail. He was always grateful for having studied under the Reader and the Nightwings, without whom he never would have completed his penance. Because of this, and perhaps because they were on opposite sides of the world now, Gilman dedicated his life to her. Ah, the Reader. I was wondering who her was. By that point, he had long forgotten about his days under the leadership of Sir Deluge, his former commander. Breaking free of the abusive leadership was the first step towards gaining a bit of self-respect. Gilman never did return to the homeland of Sea Domain. He was content to lead a monastic life on the small residence in the hills. It was just high up enough to keep him striving to conquer his fear of heights. Other than that, his intense daily training regimen, the occasional visit from an old companion, was more than enough to keep him optimistic and engaged. He knew by then that honor was not something to be won, but a contract with oneself ought to be renewed each day. Deluge, I guess. All his life, Deluge has fled from one danger only to find himself facing another. It's the music again. He escaped the war-torn waters of Sea Domain, he escaped the blood border of the Commonwealth, and now he escaped the rights. After the rights had ended, many exiles wrapped up their ancient tests with Crestfallen as their last chance to return home vanished along with the stars above. But Deluge did not mind, for this outcome meant that at last there was no burden of responsibility weighing down on him. Good for him? When most of his fellow exiles of Pyre yet longed for the waters of Sea Domain, driven as ever by their impulses towards conflict, Deluge settled down. With him remained one of his companions, one Lady Seagrass, whom had taken a liking to him for some reason. Reportedly, they disappeared in the waters of the Worm Gulf, which may begin to explain the significant increase in worm population observed in the vicinity. Yeah. After a cycle... Damn, they all have good music. It ceased, Dave returned to the Flagging Hands region where she sealed herself in the pit of Melith. There, even her fellow exiles withdrawn allegedly grew unnerved after a time and left her to her vile work. Sometime later, in the pit of Melith erupted into flames so intense the conflagration that could be seen all the way from Ymir Valley. Arson was suspected, though the cause was never verified and many bog dwellers in the region were forced to flee. A tempest blowing from the north finally quenched the flames. If I could make one last comment about Sandra and that lascivious remark, I'm going to suggest that the idea is I've shipped us in the game. Like, we're clearly, I don't know, together, a couple. However, due to the orb's particular nature, they didn't want to write about that because it was kind of weird for me to be, you know, in a relationship with a woman trapped inside of an orb. So they're like, oh, that's maybe a little too hardcore. We might want to leave that out. It's a bizarre arrangement they have. Let's keep it vague, shall we? So that's my attitude. Our relationship with the orb was one out of love and mutual respect. The best kind of relationship. Scarce beyond recognition, no trace of the witch could be found. Well, as for the contents of the Pit of Malith, which notably included a profane object thought to be the remnants of Yislak, dildo, all of it was gone as well. Back in the Saurian Union, Udmildiz, repeated threats of the return of Yislak were thoroughly investigated, and no credence was found to her claims. Well, no shit. Looks like Shay. Commonwealth had never provided a sense of home for the one they had called Shade the Shoddy. I'm guessing there's always alliteration there. So she was surprised upon return that she was so well treated. She felt uneasy about it, and besides she knew they would do her best to fulfill... Scratch my ear there, and it knocked my headphones off. The pledge that she made to her friends. Even she could not have expected the impact that would have on the events of following which gave to the rise of Saurian Union. Despite not fitting the image of any of the 8 scribes, Shay nonetheless stood alongside the others amid the teeming masses of the night and scribes' return. She spoke with the scribes with such conviction and sincerity the crowd was very moved. After the fall of the Commonwealth, there was renewed interest in the legend of the 8 scribes and many new interpretations of their histories and teachings. Shay found herself at the center of all this. Her way of speaking continued to compel a growing audience. She swayed many people from their astralist beliefs. Soon, the eighth word, which had lost favor with people during the reign of the Commonwealth, sought out to her and asked her to formally join. Eighth word. Theocratic sect believing in the 8 scribes are more than mortal, and their words divine. And she did right away. Through it all, she wondered how her little friend Tizo had fared. Oh yeah, he's still with me. While they were divided now by great distance, he always remained in her heart. She cited their relationship with Jojariel as the single most important in her life. Atta girl, Jody. Jody would always provide some circumspect perspective and wisdom of experience. Shay would always be devoted to her faith, but more so to her friends. Many people in the Saurian Union cited her gentle manner and unwavering conviction helped them brave changing times with courage and grace. I guess Ruki's a little bit lower. After Ruki Greentail earned his freedom, he returned to the lavish welcome ceremony in the Commonwealth, and as was tendency for liberated exiles. It was everything he could have hoped for, and soon he was well off surrounded by luxury, choosing between various exciting opportunities. However, he must have given in to his better judgment, as he did end up siding with Ulfred Sandalwood's revolutionary forces as he promised. Attaboy, mustache dog. On the night of the scribe's return, Greentail was there with others, inspiring the masses. He never looked prouder, the very image of Yomir Many-Mane himself. When dawn finally came, it had become clear to the Commonwealth that everyone knew would be no more. He realized many new opportunities awaited. He began quite a lucrative career for himself, manufacturing the selling replica merchandise inspired by Downside. His main struggle was to meet demand. An aspect of his conscience cautioned him against making light of such a thing, but the money was too good, and soon his family was well off, as he always said. One of the orders of business was to seek his old companion, Panatha Thayan, with whom he took a liking during the quest for freedom. They bonded further over love of drink, supported by one another through uncertain times that lay in store. He also kept in close touch with Gilman, ever the perfect practice partner, with whom he would train often together, taking care to stay in tip-top shape as much as possible throughout the years. Greentail always did his best to keep in touch with all his many friends, and he knew that he owed his fortunes to them. He made a special point of staying close to the group of friends he came to know so well during his time in the Nightwings, wherever they were. I wonder if Jojariel feels interested that Bertha became a member of the Nightwings. She's probably like, huh, weird. They shared a special understanding that put even Greentail at a loss for words sometimes. Yes! The music again! Barker Ashpaws never had much interest in returning to Commonwealth, for he always found its bylaws to be stifling, so when the rites ended he did not care at first. He soon grew very bored. The rites had given his life a certain sense of structure he'd always needed. He missed the raw anticipation of it all. He decided to continue conducting the rites for the thrill of it. He bent some of the rules and replaced some of the objects, but it was close enough, so he started a soccer league. His pack mates and the dissidents proved to be more than happy to participate, and thus they ran against each other in the Yomir Valley. Gradually, other exiles of the rites, as well as those who had not heard of it, started to take an interest and ended up giving Barker Ashpaw some healthy competition. His old feud with Ruki ceased meaning anything to him, and he forgot all about it amid his new pursuits. Which is good, since he forgave his family and everything. Ultimately, even Barker Ashpaw, who led such a directionless existence point, found something calling to him in the rites. Whether he took the rites less seriously than any other exiles this time, or more oft debated by those who watched his work. I guess she's a little bit lower than Jody. Throughout her exile, Tamitha Thayan was motivated by a single goal: return to the Commonwealth and exact revenge against her ancient enemies. When she realized the rites had ended and that she would never see her mountain home again, she nonetheless remained determined to aid people however possible. She gathered certain information pertaining to the intentions of the Nightwings, who had formed a pact to regroup the other side after their liberation. Other such reports exposed certain weaknesses in the Commonwealth's defenses and revealed the Highwind Remnants the opportunity for a risky but potential impactful strike. Really? Thanks. As Tamitha could not participate in the assault, she learned what happened well after the outcome. On that night, known as the Scribe's Return, the Commonwealth had fallen. Highwind Remnants thus prevailed at last without even having to fight. Well, if your enemy was just the Commonwealth itself and not the people in it, then I guess victory achieved? Soon after the fall of the Commonwealth, Tamitha learned that her blood sister Pamitha was an accessory to the successful outcome. Tamitha was very skeptical of this, but as similar reports kept mounting, she soon accepted the prevailing opinion, however grudgingly. Once a messenger imp arrived bearing some sort of message, seemingly from Pamitha. However, Tamitha turned it away. She would not give in to an impulse to forgive. Knowing that the conflict on the other side had ended, Tamitha retreated to the crags of the Black Basin and grew ever more distant. Those closest to her surmised that her inability to reconcile with her blood sister was at the heart of this. Maybe if I had freed her, she would have reconciled. But for her part, Tamitha never once admitted to any such weakness. Jodie, it's been forever. Ah, I miss you, Jodie. She's cute. I like blondes like that, the sort of darker-haired blondes, if that makes any sense. After her liberation, Jodariel soon became an icon in the movement, and the braid works for her, you know? It's something about Jodie I really like. Her design's really nice. Icon of movement that led to the collapse of the Commonwealth and the rise of the Saurian Union. Her horns and stern countenance inspired the people to believe she was Solium Mur reborn. She'd become a great if reluctant leader. She was uncertain at times that followed. It was in the uncertain times that followed. Jodariel's seasoned experience often came into play of both matters of security and of state. For instance, she conscripted and trained a team of volunteers. That's not what conscripted and volunteers means. There's a clash there. In public safety, the community did not know what to make of such a cordial bunch at first, but soon came to value their services. Cordial bunch. They have stood for the people ever since and were celebrated their founding day each year. She remained close with Hedwyn, and all through his experience they supported each other through her struggles many, many times. She kept an eye on Shay, who nonetheless demonstrated a surprising knack to get by on her own, though Jodariel was always willing to provide assistance just in case. She knew training on her own, a regimen that grew stricter with each passing year. There were those who sought to train with her, and she sometimes obliged. The remnants, there remained one other constant in her life. She would always remember her days among the Nightwings, and with a fondness for the most part. Alright. Sandalwood. Not Sandalwood. Manly Tinderstaff realized the rites had ended, no longer could return to Commonwealth through this ancient means. He was outraged. Cursed the scribes who enforced such a slew of blasphemy as to very unbecoming of one of his high stature and bearing. Last he calmed himself, focused all his energy on attempting to find another means of coming home. See, at least that's something. Fucking, what's-his-face, Lendl the Liar? That was just sad. He maintained regular contact with his wealthy family on their side via messenger imp, and used their vast resources to explore other means of escape. Tried using an elaborate pulley system. Attempted to retrofit Flying Black Dragon with superior... He built a rocket. Tried an imp raft, a hot air balloon, even prayer. He fucking Wile E. Coyote'd this shit. Nothing worked. There was only one way to escape the downside, and now it was gone. Tinderstaff bankrupted his family in these vain attempts. Really? Why did they keep listening to him? At last, such was his shame that he retreated to the teeming woods of the Black Basin to Cinderroot. There he yet wallows, complaining to his comrades of the chastity who still put up with him, either out of his own about his own misfortune or the latest news of the other side. Make the most of what you have done. Be like, what's his name? The Dissidents guy. Ashpaw. That guy, he knew what was up. He made the most of his situation. She got a haircut, apparently. After regaining her freedom, Pamitha Thayan found herself in a difficult position. Having once betrayed her people with the Highwind Remnants, she knew she would not be welcome in her native home. She did not trust the Commonwealth either. Instead, she found her place among Wilfred Sandalwood's agents, who were busy doing their part to fulfill the plan. As it turned out, the plan was a success. Pamitha Thayan stood shoulder to shoulder with her other fellow former exiles, and truly there was a sight to behold. A disturbing rumor later spread that the night of the Highwing Remnants were slated to mount an assault, which for some reason never came to pass. Pamitha denied any knowledge or involvement. Afterward, Pamitha played an active part in negotiating terms with the Highwind Remnants. Yeah, see, that's... I guess she took her helmet off, that's why I think it's a haircut. And the new nation that would become the Saurian Union. Her previous attempts at something of the sort led her to exile. She must have felt some satisfaction to succeed this time around. Sometime later, Pamitha had an unexpected run-in with Rookie Greentail, with whom she had spent a fair amount of time while traveling along with the Nightwings. Under this new set of circumstances, Sir and the two had more to talk about and rather more in common. They would oft put to the test which one was able to outdrink the other. It was unclear as to which one prevailed in that contest in the end. One day, Pamitha received an invitation to return to the Highwing Remnants, where she would be fully pardoned. She held out hope that she might see her blood sister Tamitha there, knowing full well that Tamitha did not regain her freedom. Tamitha did later learn that Pamitha was welcome back by their people, however she never responded to her blood sister's attempt to contact her. Pamitha, in turn, did not accept forgiveness from her at any point. Nonetheless, she kept on trying to reach out, she said, just to ruffle up her feathers a bit. Sisterly love, I guess. Later, when asked Pamitha Thayan admitted she felt as though she had no home to call her own. This was during an interview conducted amid an extensive trip abroad, and she had traveled thousands of leagues beyond the bounds of the Saurian Union. Pamitha continued this journey, thus citing the reminder of when she was younger and when she could fly unfettered. She probably would have appreciated more if I had freed her sister. We're going to end with these two, by the way. Why is Ron so... whatever. Several exiles of the Nightwings cared more for the plan than... for the plan of Sandalwood than the return home for Downside. The crone called Big Bertrude was a prime example. She found a suitable environment to live within the dismal reach of the flagging hands, ere she built up a thriving place of business known to many exiles of this land. With the rites having ended, she returned to her preoccupations, working away almost as though nothing had happened. When one gets to be more than 400 years of age, perhaps even monumental events such as the culmination of the rites of the collapse of the Commonwealth seem a trifling matter. Much of their effort was doubtless due to the influence of Sandalwood, someone whom she had admired now for decades. He made clear that he could not requite her feelings for him, but what could have been a hurtful dismissal led only to a deeper understanding between them. By and large, Bertrude kept focusing on her work, whether casting small enchantments and imbuing talismans. The work brought the sense of purpose, some would say. In the Commonwealth, such services were strictly forbidden, but on the downside, there was a real need for simple luxuries, which the competing slug market can always provide. Thus did Big Bertrude continue to live up to her name, and the tales of her days in the Nightwings made her more of a living legend. Last normal guy, I guess. Once it became clear to Ignaris that the rites were drawing to close, he knew it was time for him and the Templars to call it quits. But first he and the Templars decided to celebrate, and that they did for many, many nights. The revelry did eventually subside. The exiles parted amicably, and went their separate ways. He roamed the downside, searching for some meaning in his life, sometimes taking odd jobs requiring his brute strength. He never remained alone for very long. He took on many lovers in his time. Good for him! However, he sometimes thought about the one that he called Curly Horns, and what became of her. You mean Jody? Though his glory days as most powerful conductor of the rites had long since passed, he always enjoyed a fearsome reputation that culminated in that time. So he's like the Patriarch in Mass Effect 2. That's a bizarre and obscure reference. If you get it, bravo. When the cycle of the rites ceased turning, Volfred Sandalwood turned towards the starless sky and closed his eyes and prayed. It was all he could do at that stage of his plan. He aspired to assemble with liberated exiles, representing each of the 8 largest ethnic groups composing the population of Commonwealth. They would stand together as visions of the 8 scribes, reuniting, inspiring the masses to embrace an older set of values from beyond the Commonwealth, had tightened its grip. So if I had freed Tizo and him and kept Shay and I guess Oralek, there would have been like one of each for the 8 scribes, instead of the 6 and Shay. They would stand together, tightening its grip. When the rites ending sooner than expected, this ideal scenario became impossible. Sandalwood's own freedom, for instance, was now forfeit, yet the plan did have its contingencies. Fortunately, most of these contingencies did not prove necessary. Word reached him the other night, the scribe's return. His fellow liberated Nightwings stood together, and their voices echoed through the streets. These former exiles, who ought to have disappeared into the ranks of Commonwealth's own leadership, now stood united with its people, which poured from their homes in solidarity. It was imperative to Sandalwood that the stand against Commonwealth be peaceful in its nature. An overwhelming show of popular support would be more than enough. Ensuring this priority, and in the end was the result of self-evident, the plan's goal had been achieved. Sandalwood was kept busy after that, as much as possible providing counsel from afar to those who would see forefront the birth of the Saurian Union. Of course, being straight in downside meant there was only so much he could do. Resting assured that the future nation would be in capable hands, he turned his attention to the remaining exiles of the downside. They might never return to their new nation, but at least they could experience its triumphs and struggles in some vicarious way. So he took his old work writing and printing. Literacy began to spread again throughout Saurian Union, so too did the exiles in downside take to it. For his part, Sandalwood helped to teach as many as he could. More than that, he provided materials to read, semi-annual report of the latest events both in Saurian Union and in downside. This periodically gave many exiles something to look forward to. One of his allies was an imp named Tizo, with whom he had traveled across downside. Yay! Sandalwood often cited Tizo as the wellspring of his own enthusiasm of a brighter future, such was the creature's spirit. He was welcomed the company of the reader in the Nightwings at every opportunity, and counted her as a trusted friend and a keen editor. He was pleased to hear that the one-time friend Orlick had become more productive part of society, yet he spoke little of their time together. As Wilfred Sandalwood gained more fame throughout the land of his sacrifices and his contributions, it is said he remained steadfast about two things. First was the cause itself ought to remain its focus. The freedom the people had achieved, it was a gift to be cherished, a set of values that needed to be nurtured. Second was the point he made to himself had little to do with the outcome. He would often praise the exiles and Nightwings who stood with him, each in turn by name. He never forgot any of them. Well, yeah, you don't do that. That's a dick move. One day, to commemorate his birthday, the people of Saurian Union unveiled a monument depicting him and the Nightwings, as imagined in their prime. While Sandalwood did not learn of it until much later, he said he was moved to tears then by the gesture. He has since ensured that those of us with memories more fallible than that of Sandalwood likewise remember the achievements of his fellow former exiles and our cause. Ron. With the rights drawn to a close, the slug market's revenue fell per whatever, and Falcon Ron was forced to liquidate his assets and close up shop. I thought it was competing. Yet, as is sometimes the case with those entrepreneurial leanings, this time of hardship led to an epiphany, or at least a sudden change of fortune. One day, Falcon Ron had one of the messenger imp bringing news from the other side. Ron gave to it one of the remaining trinkets which could not be sold. The following week, a messenger imp returned to him, bearing a tidy sum of wealth and newly minted coinage. Falcon Ron cut a long-term deal with the messenger imp then and there. Though his trade remained a gray area from a legal standpoint in the Saurian Union, the newfound fame and downside caused Falcon Ron's good to explode in popularity. He later signed an elaborate agreement with Big Bertrude's and found a distribution partner on the other side through Rookie Greentail. His own business had expanded. That's fantastic. Especially in the Saurian Union, Falcon Ron's goods are still known for their superior quality, though he assumes no liability for any side effects. Attaboy, Falcon Ron. Even though it would technically be Bing Bang Bong, clearly these two are meant to be last. In the aftermath of the final liberation rite, Orlek had at last returned to the nation he had not seen in nearly 2 decades. He scarce recognized it. After all, it was in the midst of transformation, a social and cultural upheaval sparked by Volfred Sandalwood's plan. When Orlek witnessed the people of Commonwealth standing shoulder to shoulder and chanting together the night in the scribe's turn, he looked on in silence for a time. Then he stepped towards the crowd. A murmur hushed. Really? It's just one dude. A murmur and hush moved through the gathered citizens at the sight of him, for they'd never seen someone thus changed by the downside. He does have quite the profile, doesn't he? But then Orlek raised his voice with theirs, and they all stood united once again. Attaboy, Orlek, I knew you had it in you. History would know him as the Demon Doctor, a term of endearment that stuck even after his horns started to recede. Oh, they recede. Okay. He lent his skill and service throughout the birth of the Saurian Union. The one he had called the Shadow of the False Nightwings was someone whom he thought often. He knew he owed his freedom to her. And how. Having witnessed the aftermath of Sandalwood's plan, Orlek understood at last what his former companion wanted. Years ago, they conceived a version of the plan. Now Orlek found he wished Sandalwood could be present to witness the reality of it. I knew he was redeemable. I knew it. Along with his thoughts, Orlek would sometimes visit the memorial of the fallen leaders of the Commonwealth. Though, other than such appearances, and notwithstanding his duties as Master Physician of the State, Orlek led a very private life. Few would have guessed that he was once the most accomplished rites conductor in the history of the Nightwings. History, of course, Challenger will never be forgotten. And lastly... which one first? I guess the Minstrel? Ah, well, both of them. After the cycle of the rites ceased turning, the lone minstrel bade the Nightwings take the Black Wagon and seek their fortune elsewhere in Downside. Their parting was heartfelt but brief. He remained there at the summit of Mount Elodia with Celeste, and the two of them would chronicle the final outcome of the cycle. Neither Tariq nor Celeste was ever seen again. We know all this now through song attributed to them. Some claim these songs originated in taverns in the Saurian Union and merely imbued in weight of folklore. However, exiles liberated in the Downside corroborated each other's claims at having met the duo that presided over the liberation rites. Well, certainly the Nightwings. Another folktale suggests these minstrels were heralds of the scribes. Having fulfilled their obligation, they departed this world and rejoined their patrons. I suspected that of Celeste, not so much Tariq. One of their famous songs described another simpler outcome. Two of them gave up their duties and rights in favor of the life they could share together. I would like that, sure. They seem nice enough. In any case, they're likely to remain subject of such verses for such songs, for it was they who watched over the rites and ushered in our times. There's one more account which warrants mention. Is it me or Tom? Nightwing's conducted the rites under the guidance of a reader. Sounds like it's me. Little is known of her. She lived happily ever after with Sandra, duh, and Tiza, and I guess Volfred and Burchard. However, some accounts of her begin to paint a picture. We know she was of common birth. Weak-framed. That doesn't sound like me. Though raised with a penchant for learning. That sounds a bit more like me. I am not weak-framed. I am a gigantic individual. Although, it's becoming a pain. I've actually lost a ton of weight. So, bragging here. I've lost like 35 to 40 pounds. I might have put a little bit of that back on. I've been indulging myself a bit lately, but no more than like 5 pounds have I put on since I last weighed myself. But yeah, I lost a ton of weight. Much healthier now, much lighter. Just over 100 kilos, I think? That's not how much I lost. That's how much I currently weigh. If I lost just over 100 kilos, I would be dead. Yeah, I think I weighed just over 100. Like 103, 105, something like that. Which is like 230 in pounds. I don't know. And none of my clothes fit. They're all too big. It's a pain. I have to go out and buy new clothes at some point. Journey downside left her close to death, did it? It was then that the Nightwings found her. Oh, right. They brought her from the brink and showed her the path. She showed them the path. She pressed onward with others. She had made a vow to help her friends be free, thus did the cycle of rites commence its final turns. When the final rite arrived, the Reeve's freedom was at stake. In the end, however, she remained in exile. From that point on, accounts for her diverge. It is said the voice, which troubled her, she never heard again. Bullshit, he's my best friend. Some say she opted for a place to sell in downside, though whether that is true, only she knows. And my, struggling to find a word for it. What is it? That thing where, I think it's codependency is the thing where you can, like, live with a person who is significant enough to you that, I don't know, codependency. It's a glorious idea. A little restrictive. Yeah, my codependent partner, Sandra? Whom I love very much, I guess. I don't know. Though, whether that's true, only she knows. Yeah, Sandra would know. Someday, perhaps through his own star shall emerge. Oh, I get to be made a star. Then it shall pierce the dark of night and all its brilliant glory until such time, even after all of us give thanks.
Their journey began on the barren waste where the reader arrived,
Song's a bit literal, don't you think?
afraid and alone.
I was hardly afraid.
When she arrived, book of rites awakened the Nightwings and ignited the flame.
This is a very literal song.
They follow the star
What are we looking at? Oh, it's Hedwyn.
together.
And I guess Joe Dario? That makes sense.
We sing of the last
Yeah, it's Jody.
of the Nightwings who, having broken
Why them?
the cycle, shall live on in song.
People I met in the order I met them, I guess? Is Rookie next?
Prevailed.
Oh, it's Hedwyn! Cooking with Tizo. This is fantastic. And there's Shay. Treasured memories. Yeah, Rookie is next in that tower thing. They're playing cards. That's fucking awesome.
Mother to many a foundling,
Joe Dario was a mother to foundlings.
found her way home.
Yeah, there's Rookie. No mustache, though.
Rookie Greentail has proved his worth and returned to his family.
This is a very...
The blaze of the strife.
I don't know about this song. There's Shay. She's spindlier than I would have thought. Darren Korb! Yeah, he made it. Good on you, Korb. That guy's fantastic. He's the main musician for Supergiant Games. Ah, whoever did these artwork is fucking brilliant. This is fantastic. So this song must be... There must be a different lyric for everyone who didn't make it home and who did make it home. Oh yeah, that is Gilman. On top of the wagon while I think Hedwyn vomits? Because he couldn't keep up with the drinking. This is a good game. Darren Korb was rookie, huh? Good on you, Darren. And the Minstrel. Okay, I figured that, to be perfectly honest. Didn't know he was rookie. And he was the Bog Witch I can't pronounce. Yo, as much as I love you guys over at Supergiant Games, if I had to party with anyone, I think it would be Darren Korb. That's Bertrude chilling out with him. Pamitha and Jody are at the wagon there. And Tizo maybe down in the... Normally I would talk over the credits, but I want to hear this song. That's all of them. Except, I guess that's me in the middle. I was going to say it's everyone except me. Oh, it's Tom, I think? Oh, no, it's a library. Oh, still. What did happen to Tom, I wonder? I know his name was, like, Billings or something like that. But fuck you. His name's Tom. Tom Skipley. I mean, I figured it was the end, thank you. Ah, Pyre. I barely knew her. Ha ha ha. God, I love this game. This is a fantastic game. Mostly for the story at the end. True Nightwing's campaign. Oh, for... What does that even mean? Now I have to look at what that means. True Nightwing's campaign. Am I playing as What's-Their-Faces from... Alright, let's see this. New profile. Okay, that did something weird. New campaign? Okay. Players who finish the campaign, your adversary shall be favored by the stars himself. Base difficulty is the same as heightened. All Titan stars unlocked, and some must be used. Enlightenment requires rank up rescaled. Enlightenment required to rank up rescaled. Cannot load checkpoints or restart rights. Book of Rights and White Loot fully unlocked. Slug Market Inventory fully unlocked. Feats of Glory introduced much sooner. Once chosen, this setting cannot be changed. Okay, so it's gonna kick my ass, basically, is what you're saying. We're not gonna be doing that. Instead, what we're going to do, because I actually have class to get to, and this went a little longer than I thought it would. Went a lot longer than I thought it would, actually. Hour and 40 is really long for me. Yeah, what I'm going to do is sign off real quick here, because I have class to get to. And, like I said, in the comments, let me know if you want to see me play this again. I'll fast forward a lot of what's going on, but I'm going to lose everything, basically. I want to see what happens. I am going to play it again. Do you want to see me play it again, where I just lose everything? And see how the story plays out that way. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to record it for you guys. You have to let me know in the comments. So, you know, and it's not going to be right away. It's going to be when I get around to it. But until then, thanks so much for watching. I've been Tokenlad. Talk to you later. Sure to go show. See you around Ask Clowns. This is a fucking good game.